Hi, everybody, and welcome to Heel Heat. This is our WWE show for the week. My name is George Coles. This is my tag team partner, Jacob Blue.
Thanks, Eli. Gary Rhodes, everybody.
And we'll start off with the hot opener for the week. CM Punk coming out pissed off about losing his world title that he doesn't think he should have lost.
And I can't agree with him more.
I thought it was a great promo, a great reaction how CM Punk should react to losing at the Royal Rumble. Take your feelings away from the Royal Rumble as it is. I thought this was a great response how he should have acted, and it brought out one of my least favorite characters, Face Vince. Vince without the power walk is like a day without sunshine.
CM Punk is not impressed with Face Vince.
Nobody's impressed with Face Vince. I dislike it. Basically, Vince says Paul Heyman's going to get a talent evaluation next week, which I didn't know he was on WWE contract. I thought he was CM Punk's advisor.
Exactly.
But anyway, we'll get to that later. The first match of the night, and this was all Raw roulette.
Vegas style, baby.
Was Randy Orton versus Antonio Cesaro, and the stipulation was Miz was the guest referee.
This match here could have been a lot better. It wasn't terrible, though. I
thought it was a good match to build the Miz-Cesaro feud. I liked how it ended. Although at the end, the Miz did a heel move, hitting the skull-crushing finale on him.
Well,
it works when you're a face like Randy Orton or Stone Cold Steve Austin, not when you're a face that nobody wants to see as a face like the Miz.
Well, another thing about the whole situation was weird is Vicky Guerrero made the Miz the special referee, and she's a heel GM. Why would you do a face move?
Who knows?
You never know. I mean, that's just another thing. Another thing I was disappointed with was the Ryback segment that comes up next.
Ryback and Primetime Players make me laugh.
Well, no,
he did make me laugh, though.
It made me sick. That's about it. I thought that was a waste of time. Yeah. So we won't even get into it.
Exactly. And our next match is something that built from the Royal Rumble: Wade Barrett versus Bo Dallas.
And I know you've been really impressed with Bo Dallas since he stepped up.
I have. It's someone I watch NXT because I have Hulu, and you can watch the shows on there. Bo Dallas is a really good wrestler. He's got some really. He's going to be a really good face, as you can see. He's got some face mannerisms. I mean, I like the kid. I think he's doing good. I like this feud for him coming in. I like the 1-2-3 kid aspect where he gets a win over a guy he shouldn't, at least storyline-wise.
Do you like the fact that he's wearing Mark Merrow's old ring gear or no?
Mark Merrow.
Remember? Wild Man?
Yeah, he didn't wear the cowboy boots, though.
Yeah, whatever. I like the match, and I really did enjoy the underdog winning. I mean, what else can you say? Match I didn't enjoy was the next match.
The underdog won?
John Cena's never the underdog, dude.
John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Basically, this match was to give Cena a reason to be out in the ring so he could cut his promo on who he's going to face at the WrestleMania.
And I thought what would have been ended this perfect was when Rhodes says, "I'm done with this," and got out of the ring and started walking off. They should have just let him walk off.
Instead of Cena throwing him back in.
And it was funny because Cena was doing the moves, you were calling them.
Exactly.
It's just that simple. He's that predictable.
And thank you to Lou, because Lou is the one that gave us the 6-hit combo of Queer, which I was calling out as he's hitting them.
And you were right on the money with every one of them too, buddy.
It's a
sad.
formula.
It's sad. It's very sad.
It's almost to the point that it's like making spaghetti. I can go in my kitchen and make spaghetti without thinking one time what I'm doing, because I've done it so often that I know exactly what step is coming at what time. I don't even have to put a timer on anymore.
No.
Kind of like a Cena match. You can. It's a formula.
Exactly. It's time for the freaking "you can't see me."
Then after the match, he announces he's going to challenge for the WWE title, which he kind of gives away the main event for Elimination Chamber, because he says, "I don't know if it's going to be The Rock or CM Punk." He did bring up, I will give Cena his credit, that he brought up how much CM Punk has beat him and how The Rock beat him last year. He did give some self-deprecating aspects, but it's a Cena promo, and the wrongs were righted by the Shield.
But I will give Cena this on this promo. It was better than last week's promo.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
a retarded donkey that could speak out of one side of its mouth, and I'm not talking about Jim Ross, could do a better promo than what John Cena did last week.
Damn.
But anyway, the Shield righted the wrongs.
Well, they did.
Which brought out Sheamus and Ryback, and they pretty much singled out everybody and destroyed 3 main event players.
So impressed with that. So impressed. Because, most of the time, by this point, they'd be having them backing off from Sheamus and Ryback, and they destroyed
Or
Sheamus.
the faces coming out and beating them.
Exactly, and they destroyed Sheamus, Ryback, and especially John Cena.
Wonderful. I really like the Shield. I like everything they're doing with them. I like the segment later on, and we'll speak about that. But our next match is something I didn't really like either. Brodus Clay versus Tensai. Now, they teased that it was going to be a bra and panties lingerie match.
Lingerie pillow fight. Oh.
Yeah. And it ended up switching to a dance-off. Brodus was supposed to tell Tensai. He doesn't. Tensai comes out
K-Fab.
looking, wearing lingerie, looking absolutely ridiculous. The thing about it is, Matt Bloom, who is Tensai, Albert, is a good worker. He's a guy that, when they brought him in as a monster heel, it was somewhat believable. I mean, and they're pretty much... I don't see him coming back from what they're doing to him. It's almost like you always say about Big Show. How every time you see Big Show, you can't get Shokishi out of your head.
Or the Showster. Or
yeah. I can't get the gimmicks that or the crap they're throwing at Tensai now out of my head.
And he's such a nice guy. I've seen him at autograph signings and stuff like that, and he's just very nice and humble guy. And you hate seeing it to someone like that because he was a badass when he was A-Train.
I will say though that he did do a good job dancing. I thought he danced well. I'm not going to say he was Michael Jackson.
Damn. Is that what you're waiting for? That was a damn. That was a damn. It was scary as shit.
Okay, Farouk Assad.
Damn.
Anyway.
Damn.
The less we speak about the segment, that better.
Yeah.
Our next match was a body slam challenge. Alberto Del Rio versus the Big Show.
Which turned into a big beatdown from Big Show onto ADR and Roberto Rodriguez.
Well, mostly on Roberto.
Well, yeah.
So he tapes Alberto to the ring ropes, kind of like they did to him the night before at the Royal Rumble, and basically tortures Rodriguez in front of his best friend. And then ends the match with him knocking out ADR as well.
I liked it. I'll be honest with you. It really kind of showed him as a bully and as a...
The thing I like about it is it's really given more credence to Alberto's face turn. I mean, he really looked concerned for his friend. Mm-hmm. It gives him a reason to keep going after the Big Show. That other, I did like that aspect of it.
I agree with you. I thought it was a good segment.
It was.
The next segment wasn't that bad either.
Caitlyn versus Tamina with the Diva Lumberjills or whatever they were called.
How many times a week are they going to have a Lumberjill match? Really?
It was a good match. Tamina's a great worker. Caitlyn is getting better every week, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's the inevitable is Tamina's going to get the title, which I think she needs it. I mean, she's been there long enough, and she's not a bad worker. She's
deserving.
Exactly. She's kind of like a modern, I wouldn't say China or Beth Phoenix, but along the lines, she was one of the big power women. Kind of like Victoria. I'll give her like a Victoria, but not as technically gifted as Victoria.
So she started off on the hoe train?
Hoe train. Well, her dad's pretty good with rats.
Exactly.
He's an exterminator.
Did you ever see a flying rat?
Ask Jimmy. Anyways.
Our next segment was The Rock came out basically doing a celebration, thanking the fans, which brought out CM Punk. And he said, Rock, I'm going to let you challenge for the world title at Elimination Chamber.
Loved it. I absolutely loved it, man.
The best part of the whole promo is he said, Thursday night I'm going to be in Decatur. Friday night, or wherever it was,
yeah.
I'm going to be in Alabama. And he basically named off all the house shows, which everybody knows Rock's not going to be there. Kind of a punch right in the gut. And Rock's actually not going to be on Raw next week. Your world champion's not going to be on your flagship show.
Exactly. I think they should have kept the belt on Punk until Elimination Chamber, and then let Rock get over at Elimination Chamber. You know what? It gives you 30 more days of Punk being champion, or 21 days, whatever. But it gives you 3 more weeks of the champion at house shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Because for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, you're not going to have a champion at a house show.
Okay. And, coming off of that, I thought it was a decent segment anyway. Coming from that, we had Damian Sandow versus Sheamus in a tables match. I thought they were going to use Sheamus' spot from a couple years ago where he accidentally put Cena through the table. I thought they were going to flip it on him and you have Sandow do that to him to help build out Sandow. But alas,
Super Sheamus beats all. And I hate saying it like that. Sheamus has gotten a lot better,
yeah.
But to me, it's just along the lines of another John Cena. He's not no younger than John. He just turned 35 yesterday.
The only reason I thought it was okay, it is Sheamus' birthday, so let him win on his birthday against a solid competitor in a match that he's kind of been known for.
Well, the thing is with this, I was fine with this because he didn't bury Sandow. Sandow got the better of him majority of the match. It wasn't like a Cena and Rhodes match where he just buries him. You hit the triangle and you hit your finisher. Hit up to make taunt. No, it was a really good match, and he made Sandow look great. So I'm not going to dig into the match as bad as I would have.
No, I thought it was a good match. Not necessarily a fan of the outcome. I think this is the kind of a match that a heel should win, but I was okay with it. Now, the next thing we had was Zack Ryder and the Great Khali in a karaoke sing-off.
Oh, that was great.
You had karaoke. Khali did Sexy Boy.
Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels will turn over in his grave if he was dead. You gotta love JBL.
I thought the better line was, what did Shawn Michaels do to anybody to deserve this?
Bret Hart should have forgiven him a long time ago for that one. It was terrible. I love the part where Matt Striker's like, Khali, look at the screen. Or no, it was King. Yeah. King was like, Khali, look at the screen.
And then before Ryder could sing whatever song he was going to, 3-man band came out. The Faces kill 3-man band.
Speaking of faces and heels.
Well, Zack Ryder, who has a tremendous... We're going to go into our question of the week. Zack Ryder, who has a really good fan base that's been built up all by himself on the internet.
Give the guy credit.
Self-promoted himself up. Great. I love what he's done. He's a 21st century superstar, and he's using all the social media tools he can. However, his character's been rather stale as of late. No fault of his own.
Gotta have TV time.
All because he's being sporadically used on TV, and when he is, he's in jokes like this. The question of the week last week is, do you think that Zack Ryder could benefit from a heel turn? Now, before we get into our answers, we got a couple answers from our friends. The first is from our friend Lou over at the Deadly Sins. I think Zack Ryder could do a heel turn if and he could team up with Paul Heyman and have him work with Del Rio and have a great heel run. Good points there. I like the idea of him versus Del Rio, kind of a new heel versus a new face. Mm-hmm. Then our friend Joshua Adams, 1044. If Zack completely changed his character to something along the lines of like Edge, it would go over well for a heel turn.
He was an Edgehead.
I'm going to go ahead and talk about my opinion on this, and then I'll let you get yours.
This was your baby.
Joshua Adams, I think, hit the nail on the head. If he got a more serious aspect to him, like Edge, if he took some of Edge's mannerisms, some of Edge's, the way that when Edge turned heel, after the Brood and all that, and after the Edge and Christian, the comedy heels, when he turned heel, it became a serious main event player, and he stepped up his game a little bit. It's kind of, Zack Ryder wasn't as big as Edge was when he did that, but I could see what he's getting at, and I like the idea, and Zack Ryder's got the in-ring talent to pull it off. And I think he could be a great heel. What is your opinion?
I think it might be a little too late for anything to be relevant with Zack Ryder's career. They've buried him off of television so damn long that all he is a comedy spot. He'd have to do something very drastic, like you said, to turn heel. Something where along the lines like last night with Khali, if he would have beat Khali down with a chair. Something really major is going to have to turn him into a relevant heel where he's going to get television time. Because there's a lot of other heels that aren't getting TV time. He has to do something to set himself apart from the rest.
Exactly.
I think beating down someone like
I think it would be the perfect thing to freshen up his character and get him more time. The fans are going to stick with him. Fans don't care if you're heels or
look
faces.
Look at CM Punk.
I mean, ultimately, he might actually gain fans if he has a more serious side to him. I really think he needs something to freshen up his character because he's a kid that they're wasting his talent on.
Oh, there's so many too.
Now, our question of the week for this week, the Royal Rumble was this weekend. Wasn't a great show, but our question of the week is, who was your favorite surprise entrance or return entrance in the Royal Rumble? Let us know what you think. Hit us up on our Facebook, put it on our Twitter, put it down where?
Down there.
And we'll talk about that next week, who we liked, who you guys liked. You know what? Saying that now, the rumored people that were going to return the New Age Outlaws, I would have loved to see them, but alas, we didn't because Vince McMahon's always right.
Exactly. Or whatever. But one of the guys that did come back last night was Y2J, Chris Jericho, with the Y2J character, which is one of my favorite characters of all time. He comes out, and then Ziggler comes out, and Ziggler's like, "Why the hell are you here? AJ fired you." Perfect thing. Vicky brought him back. So, I mean, I don't know if they're turning Vicky face, or it's just that she's so against Dolph that she brings Ziggler back. You don't know yet.
Y2J back to me.
Oh, I'm sorry, bring Y2J back. So they end up rolling the wheel to see what kind of match they were going to have, and it was a strange bedfellows match.
Against Team Hell No.
So they had to team up. And I liked it. I thought it was a good match.
I liked it. I liked the ending where he slaps him in the back of the head. Where
Slaps Kane in the back of the head.
Y2J slaps Kane in the back of the head to let Ziggler take the choke slam.
Loved it.
I thought it was good. Builds up their feud a little bit. It's a perfect feud to bring Y2J back on because it's a feud he left on. It's another feud to keep Ziggler out of the main event, but keep him in the main event, if you know what I mean.
Honestly, with him and Y2J in a pay-per-view match, they could outshine almost any other wrestling match on that card.
Now, Y2J is a surefire Hall of Famer. And this week, we get an announcement for our third selection into this year's Hall of Fame, Trish Stratus. I think one of the most deserving female wrestlers of all time to be put in the Hall of Fame. Do you agree?
I agree, but in another way, it's like, you know what, it makes me feel old. Because Trish, you know, she got big when I was younger, and it's just like, damn, everybody I grew up watching now, or that isn't much older than me, is going in the Hall of Fame.
You are old, Derek.
Well, you look at Edge. Edge is 4 years older than me. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Trish Stratus going in. I mean, I was an adult by the time Trish Stratus started, so I see what you're saying. But she definitely deserves it. She's one of the most deserving women's wrestlers to go in. I would put her right below Moolah, probably Mae Young as the most deserving women's wrestlers of all time. Is Mae even in there yet?
I think she is. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to say yes or no.
Okay.
We get graded on that sometimes.
And then our main event segment of the night was Vince's performance evaluation on Paul Heyman. I actually really enjoyed the segment.
Oh, yeah.
I liked the backstage footage that they showed, showing Heyman talking to Brad Maddox and bringing in the Shield.
But I loved it before that. Just Heyman's, "I'm a liar, Vince. I've lied every day of my life." I loved it. I thought it was they worked great together.
Exactly. Paul Heyman, the character, isn't far off from Paul Heyman, the man. And that's what really works with characters. It's Paul Heyman, the human being, turned up to 11, because everybody knows that Paul Heyman's a liar. Ask anybody that worked for him in ECW. He will tell you whatever he needs to tell you to get you to where he needs you to be.
And he does great at it.
And they played on all those aspects. I thought it was a really great segment. I thought it was a fun ender to the show. It gave us some explanations as to how Brad Maddox and how the Shield are connected now. No one ever said that CM Punk was involved. It's just Paul Heyman. So Punk may not even know that Heyman was involved. I'm just saying. But we got Vince. He's getting in ready to fire Paul, and that brings out Brock Lesnar.
Love it, man. Loved it.
Brock comes out, basically stares down Vince and Kennedy McMahon.
Told Paul to sit in the corner. I love that part.
Paul, you can hear him screaming, "Brock, please, no." Yelling, "Vince, get out of the ring. Get out of the ring, Vince. Get out of the ring." I really thought it brought a lot to the segment. Brock Lesnar being there, which is probably going to set up a match with him and Triple H at WrestleMania. I thought it brought a lot. And then him hitting the F5 on the chairman, I thought was wonderful.
And did you see on the internet that Vince broke his pelvis.
Yeah, I mean, that's all storyline-wise. But I thought it was a great segment to end the show. It was a nice tie-up of a lot of the angles that have been going on, bringing all the Paul Heyman characters into one family, one dangerous alliance. But I thought it was overall. I thought it was a good Raw, not the greatest. What would you say?
I'm gonna ask you first.
You're gonna ask me first. I give it a 3.5. Some of the 3.5 out of 5. Some of the gimmick matches really turned me off, but there was a lot of good in the show as well.
I'd love to give it a 5 just because Brock was there, but I'm gonna go with you with a 3.5 on this one.
Middle of the road, a little bit better than middle of the road.
Brock saved it for me. The Y2J Ziggler interaction was awesome. The Cesaro Orton match was great.
I like the Bo Dallas and Wade Barrett.
I like the upset win.
Yeah.
But the Cena squash really killed it for me. I could have dealt with all the other bullshit, but the Cena squash killed me.
Exactly. But again, I think it's a little bit better than middle of the road. It's a lot better than the Royal Rumble was.
We don't even talk about that no more. That never existed. It's like Chris Benoit.
Who?
Exactly.
No, I'm talking about Jim Neidhart's character.
What?
No, that's Stone Cold.
Oh, my man.
Anyway, basically, that's all I gotta say. Is there anything
That's
you need
it,
to
my
add?
friend. Cena's a dick.
My name is George Coles,
I'm Gary Rhodes.
and this has been Heel Heat.